main screen, and Nate, you're up.
Hi, welcome to the ALCast. My name is Nathan. This is ALCast.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Hi, I'm Allan.
Hey, I'm Justin.
So, this week, the topic that I'm going to be subjecting my victims to is, we already kind of talked about police, but this topic is going to be like calling 911 and maybe like specific police stories as opposed to like the thing that we talked about before, which was kind of something else. So anyway, the question to start off the cast, it is my general sense that most people never call 911, like almost never, and I think maybe I'm anomalous in the fact, just because I've called it several times, that my guess was 3 times a year. I've been trying to take notes to see if that's true or not, and I can only remember like 6 times ever. So my 3 times a year thing is probably wrong. But maybe I'm just remembering poorly. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm going to go around. So how many times have you guys called 911?
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever?
Ever.
Yeah.
More than 5.
Really?
More than 5?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Ever? More than 5. Wait, hold on. Are you counting non-emergency police line as well?
No,
No. Specifically 911.
I think more than 5.
Okay, then maybe I can only remember 6, so maybe that's
If not 5, right around 5, between 4 to 6.
I don't think, like, maybe twice. Are we counting times when you were like a kid and you prank called 911 and the police came to your house?
No, I did do that.
I think that counts. I actually don't remember doing that, but I think that counts.
I do remember doing that, and I called them. I don't know why, but I told them my mom's also a cop. she was not a cop, and they were like, "Okay, can you put her on the phone?" And I was like, "No," and I hung up. And they just called back.
Oh yeah, well my mom's also a cop.
and my mom was like, "I was like, what? 911? What?" And they're just like, "Ma'am, please stop having him call 911."
You just committed a felony on behalf of your mother.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe like twice. One time I got into a car accident and I called 911 then, but it was non-emergency.
I think that's what you're supposed to do, though. So
that counts, man.
Because
wait, how many times was it due to a car accident?
Due to a car accident? Never.
For me, never. But so I think the definition of emergency as 911 is concerned is that it's just anything that is extremely time sensitive, right? Like that's the difference, because they're preparing to respond quickly. So it's like anything where it's very time sensitive. It doesn't actually matter if like, well, it has to be important. It has to be important enough to be worth a response. But like some people think it's like, okay, only if somebody's right about to die. But like maybe there could be like a fairly small chance that somebody could die, but like if it is going to happen, it would happen quickly. That's to me, that's the deciding factor. Like go ahead.
Yeah. Or like the longer it takes for any kind of response to happen, the more serious.
Right.
Like the issue is you don't call them because they're like, hey, a coyote just ran away.
So, for example, one of the times I have on this list, it's like I was just on the freeway. I think I was maybe even driving back from McLean, which could have even been from Andy's house back to Maryland. And as I was getting onto 95, like there was just this car kind of like sticking out onto the freeway. And like I was able to go around it, but I kind of saw it at the last second, and I would just imagine some like old lady kind of going around that same turn and just like not having the reflexes to dodge it. And then it's like, I mean, how dangerous is that really? Maybe not that bad, but it's like time sensitive because there was like no flare,
right?
No, and it was like around this corner, like
right.
So that was one of the situations. Like I'll just drive and like call 911 in a kind of situation like that, because like I don't know, maybe like there's only like a 5% chance somebody's gonna hit it, but like they could hit it any second if they do, right? Like so
I've done that at least 3 times. One time was, I think, a legit like drunk person, like literally like doing like the full S swerve on the highway in daytime. So I was like, hey, there's a guy, go fucking do something about it. One time something not so severe at night, and then one time in the car with Nathan. So I'm wondering if Nathan's counting the time we called 911 together as one of his or one of mine. But
That's not on my list. You have to go into more detail. Wow, I'm not.
You don't remember this? Okay.
I probably will as soon as you refresh my memory.
Okay, so this is on the intersection of Democracy and Fernwood. I think it was me, you. I don't remember who was it. We were in the car with my friend Jennifer or Ava or someone. Some woman I know. I think we were in the car.
We're trying to catch like a dog.
No. That's another story. But I don't think we called 911 for that. It was broad daylight, and I think we were turning right on Fernwood from Democracy.
Oh, I remember this now.
And
how did I forget?
I think there was a person in a Civic or a Honda Accord, and they were literally like driving.
Wow.
In such a weird fashion, like literally like ramming into the curb, ramming into the median, like 360ing, like very
it was
like
actually one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
Like it was worse than drunk because it was like a person trying to figure out how arms work, kind of arms and legs kind of work, kind of driving.
I couldn't
A Q-op situation?
Yeah, it's straight Q-op situation.
So it was either QWOP or they were just trying to communicate just a general rage at the world by driving as badly as they possibly could. They were like, I actually thought if we got closer, they might just ram us.
Yeah.
We decided to make a U-turn and go back up Democracy, and then we would just completely avoided Fernwood.
Mm-hmm. But we did like follow them down like 2 blocks just to get like plate and car information, and then like we're just like, oh, he's actually like going the direction we're going. We're not.
They were doing donuts.
Yeah,
they're actually doing donuts on Fernwood, and Fernwood's like this 2-lane road, so it's like 1 lane going each way. They're just doing donuts across both lanes,
but not doing donuts intentionally. Doing donuts as if they're figuring out how car works, and like hitting.
I thought maybe they were doing it
They were not. 0%. 0%. It was intentional. 100% because it like
I'm just gonna give a different percent. I think it's like a 50% that they were doing it badly. I have to concede they were doing the donuts badly.
Sure,
but I think there's at least some chance they were there. I don't think they knew what a donut was, but I think that they were like, I don't know. I couldn't figure it out.
I don't know, man. but it was weird. I'm sure someone else called 911, but it's one of those things where it's just like, I'm sure someone else called 911. Then that someone else is like, I'm sure someone else called 911. And then at some point, you just have to do it. And just like, all right, there's the crazy person. I hope I'm one of 50 calls. But if I'm one of one, go get him.
I think, in that situation, I think you've got to. Because it's like, literally just a thought that maybe you are the only one that is actually going to make the call. If you have that thought, it's probably true. That's the weird thing about it, right? Because it's like... So I feel like I got kind of evidence of this one time. It's also on Fernwood. It was in the 2016 election. Somebody put up a Trump banner on Fernwood. And it's like kind of basically between your neighborhood and my neighborhood. And it's like these are generally not Trump supporting neighborhoods at all. And I was like, well, what are the odds that if I go there, like in the middle of the night, that banner's still going to be there? And it was. So apparently I just nominated myself. Like I was the person that like cut that banner off that Fernwood Bridge. The Fernwood Bridge over 495. I actually still have it. It's my war trophy. But it's like, yeah.
You just cut it and let it go into the freeway.
No, maybe that would have been better. Or setting it on fire would have been more dramatic. But I was trying. I was slightly worried I was going to get shot by a Trump supporter. There was like
with sniper rifles just waiting. Try it, lib.
It didn't seem impossible. It didn't seem impossible. That's why I waited till they go at night anyway.
Yeah, under the cover of darkness.
Right.
Oh man. Hey, that's good, but that's good work, you know.
So anyway, one of the more comical. There's both. Probably only one of these times. Like, was it actually like a really, really super important that I call? So I'll just get that one out of the way because it's kind of serious. No, I'll do that later because we're just laughing. I don't even know. So one of the dumbest times was it was when I was living near UMBC, I had for some reason I had it in my head that there was this building right when I got off the freeway exit to go to where I lived. There was this like brick building with no windows. And somehow I got it in my head that this was like some kind of public infrastructure building, like a power transformer. I just had this thought that that's what it was.
Oh, this must be where they keep all the power transformers. I'm familiar. I've played SimCity.
I don't know. That's what I thought for some reason. And then one time I was like sitting in that ramp, and there was just like a giant plume of smoke coming out of that building. So I was like, the transformers are on fire. Like, and then I was telling them on the phone. I was like, the power transformer building is on fire.
The power transformer
like, sir, excuse me?
What the fuck, dude?
It was an industrial kitchen. I just had no idea what I was talking about.
Great
It was
job,
like an
dude.
industrial kitchen. They like burned a batch of bagels or something. And I don't know. Maybe I don't think they were aware of how badly they were burning those bagels or fish or whatever they were cooking. Like, it actually was some kind of problem, but it was like nowhere near what I thought was going on. So it's just kind of funny how wrong I was about that one. Anyway,
I mean, even if it was a kitchen, if it wasn't like just random bagel smoke and that was a grease fire, like people could have been
there was a lot of
engulfed.
smoke. No,
People
there was
could
a
have been
big
engulfed
plume of
before
smoke.
they realized it was a fire.
Generally, I think if there's like smoke, especially like darker smoke, I think it's fair to call 911. Just like fuck it. Like,
Yeah, you know,
the sooner you catch that shit, the better.
I think it's a valid call. It's just I definitely confused them by just making this claim about the building that was just wrong.
I'm sure. Yeah. Holy shit.
I honestly don't know why I thought that, but I was very confident. And then another time was around that same area. I just saw somebody that was like had so much road rage. I was tailgating this other. I felt so bad for the person that was getting tailgated. I called 911 in that circumstance. That was another one. I don't know. Sometimes you can kind of, people communicate their emotions when they're driving, especially if they're road raging, right? They'll like the way they're driving. Sure. It's like the most angry person that I've ever seen. And like,
So you called the cops on it?
yeah, I just like,
Fuck this guy.
yeah.
What did you tell them?
I just told them like I saw somebody like very severely tailgating somebody, like they were like very, very mad, and then they sped off down this way. It's like they were so mad that the person in front of them was actually like scared and drove faster, which was like probably not the right thing to do. Like, as far as I know, like 2 miles down the road, they both like crashed and exploded or something. Right. Yeah.
Got out and fought with swords.
Yeah,
Were you thinking about this because of calling tech support earlier?
No, it's because I did it today.
You called it. You called
Called
911
911 today?
On when I was driving over here.
Oh my
And that's made me
god.
think, sometimes it enters my mind that this is something that I do maybe more than your average person. But it was somebody was like I was on this 2-lane road. Like my new car, I don't have a transponder, so I wasn't taking 66. I was taking this little road, like Old Dominion Road or something, from Arlington to Tyson's. And the car in front of me just like veered across the double yellow, and then the oncoming car just started honking. Like, please don't run into me directly, honk. And then I was like, what the hell am I watching? And so and the car in front of me, like I was like, I pulled out my phone and I was like, if they do it again, I'm gonna call. And I was just watching, and they didn't get another honk. They didn't like go all the way across and get another honk from an oncoming car, but they were kind of all over the road. And at some point I was like, all right, I'm calling. And yep. So I think that's kind of similar to one of the ones that you said, Allan, right? Like,
Sure.
I feel like a lot of these are like somebody seems to be driving erratically, and you're calling to inform the.
Yeah, it always seems like someone else is in danger. Which is good. I mean, that's good. That's the best possible situation you can call 911 in. So, like,
yeah, no,
cool.
that's basically all of them. Actually, yeah, I don't think there's any of them where. Well, I don't know. I thought it was possible that like if there's some crash with this in front of me, maybe that could hit me or something. But like most I was worried about the oncoming traffic.
I've done not a lot. I've done at least 3, maybe 4 noise complaint calls.
oh, cool. That's fun.
At like 2 a.m, fucking someone's throwing a rager. Fucking.
And you narked.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
It did seem kind of personal because I was at a red light right behind them when I was calling. I think that's a new one for me because before it's like I see them like off they go, but this time I was just like at a stoplight right behind them. I could like just tell them exactly what the model of the car is, what color it was. Like I got most of the license plate. They ended up turning on the red. I feel like they could like tell. They could like tell I was like, and they turned on the red and like I think I got most of the plate anyway. That did kind of make this one. I definitely felt like I was just narking on them, right? Like. Because they had enough sense to at least like stop at the red light, right? And then it's like the one time they were behaving well, the car wasn't moving, and that's when I was like, yeah. And then they crossed the yellow line.
Taking pictures with your phone. You guys are going to be insufferable as old men.
Dude, fuck them kids. Fuck them kids,
dude. All right. So when I was living in South Carolina, fucking the person right upstairs from me. Right upstairs in like paper thin wall country, blasting shitty music and shitty TV to like 5 a.m. for like 2 weeks straight. And
yeah, dude, you gotta burn in the speakers.
Yeah, all right, guy.
You gotta burn in the speakers.
I had better speakers at the time, and like what I was doing as like I guess sort of like revenge, but it didn't do anything.
Because they were probably like, "Fuck yeah, dude, let's go."
Maybe, but I was like blasted at like fucking 9 a.m. when they're probably trying to sleep.
Nice,
but
That's true.
But it got so bad that like after a few days, I was like, dude, I can't fucking sleep. I have an exam tomorrow. Like I'm going crazy. So I come out. And it's like a garden apartment type thing. So there's no like elevators or anything. It's just like all like it's kind of like almost like a motel. Like you open the door, you're outside. So open the door outside. I'm going up like the stairs to go up to their place, and then, like as I'm walking to their door, which is right above mine, like you know off to the side over here, there's like 3 other people like walking up, and a dude with a fucking gun.
Oh my god!
Oh my fucking god! Like, did you come to the door with a fucking gun?
He was about to, and like I just walk him. I was like, all right, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna knock on this guy's door. And I like knock really fucking hard because loud music on his door. I don't know if his door was open or the apartments were shitty or what, but I knocked on the door and the door just like fucking opens, like swings open. And just like 4 dudes and a chick just like sitting on a couch, just like fucking blasting music. And I was like, dude, like turn this fucking thing down. Like it's 3 a.m. I need to sleep. They're like, oh, my bad. I didn't realize it was loud. And the dude with the gun is like, tell them they're fucking lucky you knocked on the door instead of me.
Damn. Oh my god.
I mean, are there dogs barking?
I don't hear
it's
nothing.
just you, buddy.
Okay, good. I think it's just me. I'm going crazy. That's insane. It's insane that you went there and knocked on their door. It's more insane that somebody decided they had to get a gun before going. They were like, you know what? Just in case I have to shoot someone.
It never stopped after that. So after that, I would just call the cops, and still never stopped. I don't know if they got citations. I don't know.
The cops just not show up.
I don't know. Like at some
Did
point,
the guy with the gun never come back?
Yeah,
I
right.
assumed if he was waving that thing around, they wouldn't be blasting the music every day.
I don't know,
Holy
man.
shit, man.
It ended.
would
It
not
ended
fuck around.
after
You got the
like.
gun.
It ended after I think like another 4 to 6 weeks. I think there were just like so many complaints that they either evicted them or threatened eviction or what. I don't know. But so I've done all my 911 calls. I think except for one were cars or noise complaints.
Damn, dude. I don't know how you like fucking fuck someone's day up with music like that. Like I really wanted to play DDR one time, so I bought a pad and I was super hyped for it, and I started playing it, and like 5 minutes in, someone knocks on my fucking door, and I'm like, hello? And they're like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I'm playing DDR, and they're like, it sounds like you're fucking marching. Like, you have a whole fucking marching band up here. What the fuck is happening? I'm like,
Pumping.
like, I'm just trying to play the game. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Could you put down like a pad for it, like a cushion?
I mean, it was a foam pad.
Maybe like another layer, like a blanket. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, I don't know how much more padded I could have gotten before. Like,
Who would've
I don't
stopped
know.
it?
I don't know how
The
much
first
camping I
floor
could have done for it. Like I was on
probably-
third floor apartment. Like I don't know.
That would have been more exercise, actually. It's like if you like just layer and layer, like if you like put on a mattress or something, like
Oh,
that's like
possibly.
running through
a
sand.
sandbox. You get a sandbox, and
Yeah.
then you just put it on top of the sandbox, and then yeah.
I just get a snow machine and just have it
completely
generate
absorbs
snow under my
snow.
fucking pad.
yeah. Just fill it up with snow instead.
Nice powdery snow, just constantly, just run it 24/7. Yeah, makes sense. I've called 911 once. I legit had a home invader, and I had to call 911 to get them to leave.
Oh my god.
To
But-
get them to leave. Like, okay, never mind. We don't have to talk about it.
That one's not coming out of the vault yet. Like,
Okay.
maybe one day.
Can you say where you were living?
Here,
Okay.
yeah. Jesus fuck, it was fucking scary. But I have had several near misses, but it's all been with drunk people. Like, do you guys remember Enigma?
Yes.
The
Wait,
hunter?
no.
Warrior.
I think he was playing a hunter. Yeah, I think he was playing a hunter. For reference for audience, like Enigma was a guy that I was IRL friends with in Louisiana, and he played WoW with us for like several years. I was having a party, and he was there, and I think he finished a fifth of Southern Comfort, and
By himself?
he then locked himself in the closet and couldn't leave despite there not being a lock on it. And then he really wanted to go to the bar. And we had to tell him, you can't drive. There's no possible way that you can drive. We're going to call the cops if you try to leave. And it wasn't until like one of the girls there threatened to call her undercover cop dad to fucking sit his ass down that he finally settled down.
How do you? But I thought you couldn't get out of the closet.
We eventually let him out.
Why didn't you just take his keys?
We didn't know where he had his keys. Like maybe we could have like reached in his pocket or something, but like I don't know. Like I didn't see any keys at any point.
Fair enough.
And the
I
other
think real question
time,
is, did her undercover cop was her undercover dad cop like? Did he come?
no. Like the
Did he
threat
come
was
at all?
enough because he knew. Like he dated their twin sister. So he knew exactly who it was. So he was like, I'm not fucking around with that. Fuck that shit. The other time, one of Steph's friends was over drinking, and she was clearly drunk as a skunk. And I was like, yo, if you leave, we're going to call the cops. And she got really huffy and started crying, and then went into the bathroom. And then we hear lots of flushing. And apparently
She tried to
just
throw it all
threw
up.
up. Yeah, she like as soon as we threatened to call the cops, she went into the bathroom and threw up in the sink. Like clogged the sink, started flushing the toilet to cover up the noise of her trying to clear it. And
Fine, I won't leave, but I'll make it insufferable to be here.
I think she thought she was sober. I thought she thought she was sober enough to drive. And eventually, I got
well,
the
if it
impression
wasn't
that
for all the alcohol, she probably would have been.
Yeah.
she had killed an entire 1.5 liter bottle of wine. And I don't know how someone does that and thinks they're sober. Like, I just have no idea.
This actually reminds me of something that might be a slightly embarrassing story for Chris.
Oh,
But-
is this the fifth of Kraken? Was that it?
I don't know what it was specific.
What?
So
I fell asleep and hugging your toilet.
I used to have
I remember this story. This is the best story ever.
All right.
So, well, the full story has never been told before. There's another bit to it. So, I used to maybe in a similar sort of situation. This was at my parents' house, like probably more than 10 years ago at this point. What is it, like 14 years ago?
There's no way it was 14 years ago.
10, 11? I don't know.
Probably between
10, 11. 10, 11 sounds about right.
Yeah.
I bought that bottle myself, so at least 21.
So Chris had a lot to drink, And then he kind of like camps out in the bathroom for a while, and he's in there for a long time. And so I'm kind of concerned. I'm kind of like hovering around, and then at some point, I hear throwing up in the bathroom. And at some point, Chris comes out and he tells me like I think you say the bathroom was like spotless. And at that moment, I was drunk enough that I thought you were just complimenting the bathroom. I thought I was like, oh, Chris approves of like my bathroom like hygiene. I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then it was honestly like 8 years later that I realized like he's telling me he got it all in the toilet. Like that's what he was. that just like clicked like literally 8 years later.
Oh my god!
I was like revisiting that. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh man, now that you say it, I do remember coming out of that bathroom and you being like, "Hey, is everything okay?" And then me saying something like, "Don't worry, I got it all in," or something.
No,
like,
you said the bathroom was spotless, and I was like, "Oh, how nice!" Like, Chris thinks the bathroom's clean.
It sounds like a nice compliment. Like it does.
I thought this was gonna wait. This might be the same night, but I thought this was gonna be about a different story. Is this the Rufio night?
Yeah, this was before then. This is the first trip. This is the first trip to the toilet. The first trip to Puke Town. I think I like went and puked and then just had a quick nap, like on the seat, and then finished
On the
puking.
seat?
Yeah. And then I finished
hunched
puking.
over?
He means on the
Like pants down?
Like the seat. I grabbed it. I think I grabbed like a towel or like a wash rag off of his off the like wall. And used it as a pillow, and I put my head on the toilet seat.
I thought you were saying like
Toilet seat.
pants down, ass on the seat, hanging over, hunched over, just like chilling.
No, I didn't need to take
Head
my
between
pants
your
off.
knees.
There was no poop coming out. It was all coming out
Okay.
the other end. I was throwing up. So yeah, no, I was just chilling there, and I was like, "Well, this is a good place to take a nap."
I think I remember that part too. I think you were there for a while.
Because the story that Alan's talking about is somebody trying to get me out of the bathroom because I wanted to keep sleeping in there.
Good one.
So I actually am kind of blanking on who that was. I think was it Daniel's friend?
Exy?
Nope.
No,
Okay.
this was I don't know him from anything else other than that night.
I don't know from anything else other than showing up to my house the next morning.
Yes.
So wait, does that mean I'm supposed to know who it was?
I think Nate doesn't know anything that happened. Daniel, I don't know how much of this story we can tell, but there was a.
Maybe
It's really like an archipelago of memories that we'd be lucky to find like a straight path through the whole thing.
we'll get clearance to maybe tell a story in the future, but it's a doozy, folks. It's a doozy.
Yeah, I feel a little bit bad about like one slight part of that.
It's all good.
Gosh, there's I didn't even realize this was like a hot topic. I forgot. I must have convened
This was a fantastic story.
Nate, there are pieces much like you not understanding what the bathroom is spotless. There are pieces to this night. It seems like maybe you didn't understand either.
I don't remember having sex with anybody. If that's what we're.
No. Well,
Okay.
Nathan, I think it's time we talked.
Again, Nate, let's get clearance from different sources, and maybe we'll tell a story in the future.
There's a few other people involved, and just
So-
want to be,
Okay, so
It was a good night. That was a good night and a great fun time.
an archipelago of memories aside, there is a clear memory that I have, and it's just kind of funny. And so basically, it's just purely a call out. It's just purely a call out. And but the thing is, I want to qualify the call out because like typically with this call out, you would assume the person being called out is just an asshole, but I actually don't think that's true. This guy in general is actually pretty cool, and this was basically like the only thing that this person did that is like deserving of being called out. And this is like years and years, and I wonder what are the odds that he'd ever find this. Anyway, I want to clarify. I'm not mad, but
Do you want to use a pseudonym for this person?
I'll give a last initial.
Just the first name, no last initial, just first name.
No, you'd probably prefer if I gave a last initial, Chris.
Okay.
Because the person is Chris.
Okay, yes, please.
My last initial was Chris D.
Good one. Good one.
Chris D. So we had this party, and like, so Chris
For
D.
clarification, not me.
Chris D. brings like the guitar, and no, I think he brought over his guitar, and he finds an amplifier that we already had. It's actually my sister's amplifier.
I remember this story.
And then, so we're kind of in the basement area, and like he's kind of playing the guitar, and then I think people were just smoking cigarettes for the most part. I don't think
It was cigarettes.
probably
Cigarettes.
mostly cigarettes. And so at some point people go out to the back porch, and there's some critical mass of people where Chris feels like that's the intended audience for the guitar. But we're getting towards like at least 11 p.m., maybe probably even later or something. So like the guitar and the amplifier like kind of go out, and I was like, like I kind of would really prefer if we don't have this guitar like outside. And it's like it was my house, so I was like trying to set the rule, and I was like, okay, guitar inside, please, like. And then, but he just like didn't do it. He just like did.
I do remember that.
And then like not even like 20 minutes later, the police show up, and I was like, I felt like I did the correct sequence of things in this like situation, but like
I don't remember the police showing up. I remember. I remember this dude going out with the guitar, because I remember we were all sitting around the glass table. We were all just like talking and smoking and drinking, and then he just showed up and just started playing a guitar.
The funniest thing about this story, Nate, is when the police show up, they want to card everybody, and we all show the cards, and Tori was there, and Tori was 19 or 20 and had been drinking.
He was the only one that was underage.
And he was like, yeah, I'm not 21, but I'm the DD. And the cops were like,
The DD?
The cops were like, yeah, okay. And then they come, and then I don't know. Continue your story. I'll finish when you're done.
I just wanted to clarify. Yeah, so this story paints this particular individual in a bad light, but I actually don't like. I don't. That's as bad. In terms of my experience with this person, that's as bad as it ever got. He's an okay guy.
The funny thing is, I think we were there at your house the next week, and someone did the same thing. I don't think it was the same guy. Someone did the same thing, and the police came back again, same cops, same night the next week, and like, I think he had a different partner or something, and he was like, can we get some IDs? And the guy is like, the guy who was there last night, he's like, yeah, they're all 21. We've been here before.
I remember it was like twice.
Assholes.
I remember it was twice in succession, but I think the second time, I think it was just people yelling. I think I managed to keep the guitar inside the second time.
That might have been true.
I don't know, or maybe. Yeah,
it makes a lot more sense why we didn't have as many parties at Nate's place.
Yeah, no, they were on this. Yeah,
I'm honestly just surprised in 10 years of Andyland, the cops didn't come once.
Me too.
Didn't
dude.
they come once?
They came never.
Oh,
Yeah, during the
once,
the high school party or whatever.
The cops never
yeah.
came for the high school party.
I think I remember them being across the street or something once. I got a ticket for being parked the wrong way at Andy's house once.
I remember that.
yes.
I remember
That
that.
is very, and I was the only person that got a ticket. Like, and there was, I think there was
Since
like.
then,
up and down
I've
the whole
always
road.
thought that was like a normal thing. It's not, right? Like that you can only park a certain way on the roads, especially open roads like that. Like there's no pavement, there's no sidewalk in areas like that.
That's just like the gated communities.
Yeah, what a
So
piece of
I
shit.
think there's laws on the books for that, but that's very rarely. That's the only time I've heard of it being enforced.
Because that was the shit that we would always worry about. And like, okay, make sure that everybody's
Right.
cars are parked the same direction so nobody gets a ticket.
If a cop came during the when Andy's high school friends were throwing a party, we would have been fucked. We've been so fucked. Like, because there's almost no way to talk out a cop from at least like peeking their head in the front door if like a loud party like noise complaint was happening with drinking.
There was absolutely no way anybody on that block did not know we were having a party at that
That's
time.
true, but most of them don't
It
give a
was so
fuck.
fucking loud. But yeah, like every fucking year.
There's enough
Man.
space between the houses, though. I think it's like maybe they get some sense of it.
Yeah, we never played like really loud music or anything. It was just Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's
The
not
outside
the thing.
yelling is what
There's the
I would
screaming.
a lot of
There's a
outdoor yelling,
screaming
but
and
I
wrestling
think it was-
outside. And
there's a good amount of space between the houses, man. Like I think we were okay.
I think they might have heard it, but I don't think it would have been like disruptive.
Yeah. It wasn't like obnoxiously like, oh, I need to call the cops right now. Kind
Yeah,
of loud.
I'm super surprised that that never happened.
But yay us. Or I guess, good job, Andy's neighbors.
Just like, it's the rich part of Virginia. Who cares?
Yeah, dude.
Fucking
Pretty much.
Don't go there.
Yeah, I definitely do have some vague memory of.
I mean, go there if you can, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty close to Andy's house right now, just a couple miles. I think.
Nice.
Well, throw a party. See what happens. Test
Yeah.
our hypothesis.
Go sneak into the residence.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different actually in Tyson's. Like, apparently, like there was this weird stuff happens here. There was actually like, I think there was actually a shooting at the mall not that long ago.
Yep.
Oh my god.
That was like 3 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
But that was more like, I think, gang shooting than mass shooting.
Yeah, it was just a fight that escalated and someone fired a warning shot. Nobody actually got shot, as far as I know.
Okay. But there was basically like a stampede though, because I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
one of the
yeah.
biggest-
People-
one of the
people-
biggest
It's
malls in
gonna
the country.
create.
I think
See,
3
if-
people got injured.
Yeah. I wonder if they would act more like people in Japan if guns were outlawed. Nobody even moved.
Dude, okay, to be fair, it didn't even
Someone
sound
off and
like a
they went,
gunshot.
What?
It just looked like pyrotechnics.
Fuck?
It's
Just like Abe just has like fireworks in his act now. Like that's
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he just slowly turned around like, "Nani the fuck?" And then fell over.
the way that thing looked. It looked like it would have fired both at the time, but maybe not.
My favorite. Apparently there was a. I don't know if this was like. I saw an article that somewhere was claiming that the person who did it was Hideo Kojima.
oh, I
Like
think
the dude doing it or the dude organizing it?
the dude
No,
doing
the,
it.
the dude that did it. Like they thought that it was him,
Jesus Christ!
and I'm pretty sure that like his
think it was like a
development company put a thing out on Twitter about it.
Yeah, I think it was like the sketch looked like just like him, and someone was just like, "Is that Kojima?"
And then some weird, from the text that was on the screen, it was like Russian or something.
Hilarious
It was very
stuff.
funny.
So you guys never call the cops, except for that Justin's one time. Christopher's never, ever, other than the one
One
emergency.
time I almost got into a fight with a neighbor, and he called the cops.
Maryland or PA?
Maryland. This is when I was living in that apartment complex that was like also a partial halfway home place.
Is that the one right by Montgomery College?
Yeah.
Oh, Scarborough Square.
Yes.
Oh, we probably
Was
shouldn't dox
Scarborough
ourselves.
Square? No. It's probably it was a place kind of like that, and somebody who lived across the street swore that I hit his car, and his car was fucking mangled. Like the whole side of it was completely destroyed. My car had nothing. There was no damage at all. My car was parked, and his car pulled in, and then 2 days later he was like, "You hit it." So he claimed that I hit his car when I was pulling my car out of the spot, and tried to get into a fight with me in the middle of the street. But I was just like, just fucking call insurance. And then he called the cops, and the cops came by and asked me, and I was like, look, nothing's like his car's demolished and mine's fine. There's no way that this happened in this parking garage or in this like parking lot. And that was it. That was the end of it. They left.
Interesting.
There was a time
Because
that
when I was living with Andy, when I was living with, and you, Justin, it's when we were all living together.
Yeah. I vaguely remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time I had the cops
I
show
thought
up
I
at
was
my
going to
house.
get beat up. That dude was huge.
Yeah, dude, that's rough.
But sorry, go ahead, Justin.
That whole neighborhood was fucking horrifying.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, like I was living with Matt and Andy, and like it was like 12:30 or 1 in the morning or something, and we hear like really loud banging on the door, like bang 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 bang, and we're like, what the fuck? And then like another like bang 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 bang, and then it's like, police, open up, it's the police. And we're all freaking out, like, what the fuck? Do we actually open the door? Like, what if these are like not the fucking police.
You didn't have like a keyhole to look through?
We did. So we like peep through that and try not to get shot in the process. And like eventually we like do the chain deadbolt and like open the doors like, what do you want? And they're like, I don't fucking remember his actual name, but it was like, is Fluffy Pillow Pants living here? And we're like, who the fuck are you talking about? And they all look at each other like, oh. And they're like, okay, sorry to bother you. See you later. That was it. Like, what the fuck?
So they were looking. So they were looking for somebody, and your residence matched up, and so.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Like they were ready to go too. They were ready to like bust in the door. They didn't have riot gear on, but I think they did have like protective vests and stuff.
I guess if you're getting all psyched up to really try to arrest somebody in a situation like that, like maybe the fact checking kind of goes out the window, right? Like,
I guess, man.
Well, I mean, if theoretically the fact checking would like not even be able to happen. Like somebody like that could just change residence and not submit a filing somewhere.
Yeah, but it was so crazy to me that they were like so gung ho about it, but then they just said he doesn't live here, and they were like, oh,
Yeah,
like just gone. Don't even go and come in and check. Don't ask any further questions. Just like, okay, sorry about you.
Because they probably don't have a warrant.
People just tell lies on the internet?
I guess, man.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
The one time I called cops that I can remember that wasn't really traffic or noise related was domestic disturbance of like a neighbor. I mean, like
when you were living next door to me.
No, like no, it's just some fucking like it was some crazy dude who's like allegedly like hyper abusive, and just one night you just hear like fucking blood curdling screaming, and you're just like,
Jesus fucking Christ!
It's
Was this
like-
North Carolina?
no, this was fucking here.
Oh Jesus!
It was just some dude, and the dude would always like he had the fucking worst mannered dog. Like the dog was like awfully mannered. It was fine with him.
Was
like
it a pit bull?
No. It was a fucking it was like a mini lassie. I forgot the name of the dog off the top of my
Oh
head.
wow!
Collie?
Yeah, border collie. It was like a little mini border collie. And he'd walk the dog around the neighborhood, and the dog would just be like super calm with him. But like any other time, it'd be like fucking ballistic. And like you'd walk by the door, and the dog would like lunge at the door and like bark and scratch at it. I don't know, man. And then like just like everyone like I guess like the rumor on the floor was like the dude was a fucking psycho, and like his wife would never like utter a peep. And one night you just hear like too much screaming, and you're just like, okay, fucking call the police at like 1 a.m, and they're just like, do you want us to call you back or wake you up? I was like, no. If anyone knocks on my door, I'm assuming it's a guy, and I'm gonna come out with my machete. So don't knock on my door.
Fucking machete, dude.
Yeah.
Did you ever find out what happened?
They left, man. They had like the dude like he always looked well put together. He had a nice car, but they had like eviction notices on his door, but probably potentially because of this. Because I think the police because I've seen the police like on our floor multiple times while he was here. So I assume it's all gonna go towards him.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
So that's recent?
This was not recent. This was 2 or 3 years ago. But I mean, it's shitty, man. Like, what can you do, really?
I mean,
Yeah, because if you
we
call the
just
police,
hope they were
in that
really
case,
into kinky
nothing happens.
sex.
Huh?
We just hope they were really into kinky sex.
I mean, that's the hope. And you know, if she was okay with it, like they're consenting adults, like go for it. Just honestly, like I understand you're supposed to
That's
keep
kinda
that stuff.
rude.
I understand you're supposed to keep that stuff in the bedroom, but like I feel like you should at least tell your neighbors, like, here's a thing we both signed that we're into this like really weird stuff. Like I don't mean to share
if you
this
hear
with you,
me-
No,
but
I
if
think
you
about
hear
it,
us
yeah,
like,
Just say like, hey, if you're screaming, we're probably both fine. Just chill.
I think if you're really into that, you have to kind of try to get yourself into a less neighbor situation. Like I think
I understand.
That's
Yes.
Like that's like a lifestyle choice where like you gotta have like you have to pay a huge premium for that lifestyle choice, which would be like a big detached house with like a giant soundproof basement. I get it.
Or you join a community, like in that episode of Bob's Burgers.
Or join the community, man.
I worry about the situation where I'm into BDSM and I do move in somewhere and I take Allan's advice and hand out pamphlets to my neighbors that say, hey, if you hear screaming coming from my apartment, don't worry, we're just having crazy sex.
I mean, obviously not worded like that, right?
No matter how blood curdling. She really loves to scream, help me, please God, help me. What the fuck?
Dude,
she makes me do it.
I have stayed in a Japanese love hotel, like an actual like love hotel where people rent a room for like 2 hours and just fuck. Japanese women really do sound like they're just dying.
Oh,
So it sounds like the porn.
Yes, like actually unironically, like exactly like the Japanese porn.
2 follow-up questions. Do non-Japanese born Japanese women sound like that? And
I assume if they're Americanized, the answer is no, but I don't know for sure. I haven't slept with any.
interesting. I have no other follow-up questions.
Fantastic.
I'm trying to decide if this is like a good segue into what I was talking about. The answer is probably no.
Can I have my question answered?
Oh, what is your question? Sorry.
I said, are they well
Soundproof, insulated?
soundproofed? Are they
Oh
soundproofed?
no, there's no insulation whatsoever.
That's part of
You know exactly what people are doing around you, and at what time they're doing it. Like it is very clear.
How long did you stay there?
We stayed there like 4 days. It was really nice. The rooms are enormous. They're like well.
You just have to hear people having incredibly loud sex at all times.
It's like the fucking
Yeah. I mean, you just run the humidifier and it's fine. Like
It sounds very
trying to But I mean, okay, all right. I will actually defend love hotels. They're actually really nice. The staff there is really polite. They serve you breakfast in the morning. Like the rooms are enormous for Japanese rooms, like gigantic. There's like TVs in the bathrooms with like enormous tubs, like 4x large jacuzzis.
they gotta make room to bang in them, dude. Of course they gotta.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You know the TV menus are full service. Like if you want anything, you just get it, and get it for relatively cheap.
I mean,
I
that's,
don't know.
that's
Like, I think
a
it's
great
pretty
honeymoon
good.
in Japan.
Yeah. You just gotta deal with other people fucking around you.
Well, it's like
Again, run the humidifier. It's fine.
But you can prepare for that. You can just like put on porn really loud while you're having sex, just to like get the ambiance ready.
I guess, man. Yeah.
So there you go. That sounds no lose scenario.
it's like a rooster call in the morning, man.
Was it in Tokyo?
This was in Osaka.
Osaka.
All right, Nate. What's your how you gonna follow up that Japanese sex hotel noises?
So there was one time where I called the police like physically in person. It was
ran up to a cop.
No, well, I can just sort of describe this. This is actually part of a much larger story, but I don't know the wisdom of telling the whole story, so maybe I'll just tell this chunk of it. It was at the tail end of Starscape, which was this rave that they used to have in Baltimore, and I was making my way out of the and kind of heading back to my car, and like this woman runs by, and she's completely naked. And so Starscape, there's a lot of people doing like various different kinds of chemicals and stuff, and she's completely naked. And she starts like flopping around in this puddle. And she's like flopping around in the puddle, and she's like kind of like saying incoherent things. I don't think I remember her actually saying any real words. But if she did say words, I couldn't understand what she was saying. And then she kind of starts running down the road, and then so this is when I'm kind of walking out down the same road, and there's like two cops just kind of standing. They're by their car. And they're kind of like standing outside of it. And then I think maybe she sees the cops and she's scared, or I don't know. It's hazy memory. And then at some point she takes like a 90-degree turn off of the road and starts kind of going into the woods. But the thing about where they had this show is that it's like, it was at this place called Fort Armistead Park, which is actually right next to a freeway that kind of goes up to a bridge that kind of goes across the river or the bay or whatever. And so I know if she keeps on going that way, like she's going to get to the freeway. There's like a chain link fence and then there's the freeway, and she's just like completely like nuts, completely like, I don't know. It didn't seem like a good outcome to have this person like running around in the freeway. So like I tell the cops like, you guys should go get her. Like she's gonna go on the freeway. Like she's going to the freeway. And that's what I was saying. And what they told, like they didn't move an inch. And what they told me was they were like, tell her the freeway's this way. Like that actually was kind of funny. Yeah, like, but of course, like she didn't know the freeway. Like this was me with my concern, but she had no idea what was going on at all. And so ultimately, what happened was I just recruited this other random guy, and like I kind of had to talk him into it because he was a little bit uncomfortable with the situation. But I was like, look, we have to go get her. She's gonna run the freeway. So we actually went and pulled her like off the chain link fence, and like brought her back to the road. And then they put her in an ambulance. And what also occurred is that the kind of the woods that we walked through to get to her, it was 100% poison ivy. And that was the worst poison ivy I've gotten in my life. But she was completely naked. So if she's allergic to it, that's probably the worst case of poison ivy anybody's ever gotten.
So whatever she was on probably didn't cause her to be hospitalized, but the poison ivy for sure fucking did.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So they brought her to like, I don't know if anybody knew that she had the poison ivy at that point, but like probably the next day it would have definitely showed up. Wait, how fast does poison ivy show up? Is it like one night?
I think it depends on your sensitivity to it.
How allergic you are. Yeah. It's actually like there's a good chunk of people that aren't allergic to it. Maybe she's.
That's true.
Yep. Anyway, so they were. Oh, I just remembered actually. Wow! I can't believe I left this off my list. I just remembered another time. I was in DC, and I think I left this off the list because like I was thinking police, but this one wasn't police. So I was just driving down the street in DC, and like I looked to the left and there's this window, and like framed nicely in the window, there's just it looks like you like copy and paste a fireplace fire and just like put it right in the window. That's what it looked like. It was very bizarre looking. It was almost like somebody installed like a decorative like window fire fixture. And I like drove by and I saw that, and it's like I'd never heard of that existing, but that's what it looked like. So I kind of parked my car like in this like sketchy, probably not legal spot. And I walked up the sidewalk and I was just squinting at it. I was like, what am I looking at here? It was just this like window. It was just this little window fire. And I called 911 to report the fire. And I think it's like on 911, maybe I sounded confused. I was like, I see a fire? Like they hung up on me. When I reported the fire, the DC like 911, they actually hung up on me. And then, so I was like, what do I do? I found like the building manager somehow. I like knocked on the office for like the building manager, and I like brought him outside and I was like, look at this. And he actually didn't know for sure if it was supposed to be there either. Like that's how weird this fire was. I was like, is this like,
is this supposed to be on fire, sir? please clarify.
It looked like somebody had like a deliberate. It looked like somebody had like a window fire. That's the best I can describe what this is.
Well, son, I don't know if that's supposed to be
window
on fire.
What are you talking about?
I swear, like that is the weird. It was one of the strangest experiences of my life. But yeah, that's another time.
That's pretty good. That's great. So wait, was it an actual fire? What happened?
I never found out. I tried to look it up later on. Never. I don't know.
How could you just walk away from that situation without a
I was
resolution?
going somewhere.
You just went out, you pointed it to a guy, you said, "Look at this weird fire," and he was like, "Oh fuck, that is weird." And you're like, "All right, see ya." And you walked away.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, man, see ya.
I just trusted that the building manager was picking up the ball on the window fire.
Okay, that's fair.
Have you guys ever, has anyone ever seen something and said something?
Oh, like a suitcase or something?
Yeah.
I saw a fire one time. I was driving home from work and I smelled it first, and then I looked over and it was like this gas station / Dunkin' Donuts, and all of the shrubbery and stuff like caught on fire and was like burning. So I stopped, got out of the car, went inside, and told the guy, and he didn't speak English. He didn't know what I was talking about. When I said, there's a fire, we need to do something. But eventually, we got a bucket and put the fire out.
Hey,
That's an
Very
important
nice.
one.
That's
good,
cool.
buddy.
Yeah, fire
Yeah.
is an important word to know, probably.
Mm-hmm. Water was good. I said, do you have a bucket? Water? And then he got water in a bucket, and we put the fire out. Our gas
Excellent.
station's fine. It's like my favorite Dunkin' Donuts.
I think me and my dad at some point were driving through a neighborhood and he saw a house fire and he just picked up the hose. He like parked the car and then picked up the hose and just put it out and just kept going. Like,
Somebody came outside. What the fuck? That was my window fire.
right? Yeah. But I mean, there's been like several fires that I've driven past and been like, man, I really hope someone's taking care of that.
Yeah, I feel like fire is one of the few situations where it's best to do something about it rather than call somebody else, right? I mean, if you see a
can.
fire and you have the means to put it out, you should probably do it, especially now.
I mean, even if you have access to a little hose, like just dampening shit just makes it harder to catch on fire. So you can do that while you call the fire department.
Call 911 while standing there and watching it engulf everything. Like, you guys might want to hurry. It's heading toward the gas pumps.
That's pretty clutch. And what I like about that story is it kind of has this like subtext that like this was just a normal thing for him.
There was a GIF I saw one time. It was like some dude in Brazil. There was like a roaring fire going on in the distance.
I've seen
and
this
he was
GIF.
just like standing on his roof and just kind of watering the roof.
Yeah.
Just hoping like the flames didn't come near his house.
No. That's just doing exactly what I said. So he just
shit.
makes everything wet, so it's just harder to catch on fire.
I think he was
Yeah.
smoking a cigarette at the same time.
I mean, of course.
I mean, he's in a
What's
stressful
a stressful situation?
Oh, yeah,
He's
dude.
smoking a
Oh, yeah.
cigarette as well. That's pretty. Yeah, that's a good one. You just wrap yourself up in wet towels and run through the fire. Don't do that.
I want to say, like, if you need like an emergency mask in a fire, wetting like a shirt and wrapping around your mouth, I think is pretty decent.
Yeah, wet cloth is a good use or a good thing for that. Hey, and we should pay our firefighters more because it's a tough job and somebody's got to do it.
Firefighters in Montgomery County, Maryland, can make upwards of $350,000 a year.
Are you fucking
Good for
serious?
them.
Holy shit.
They're the highest paid county workers.
Do they have like some insane union or something?
Well, they make you can look it
It's
up
a big
actually.
county, right?
You can look it up. I looked it up a couple years ago, and the top like 20 earners, or like the top like 18 out of 20 earners in Montgomery County were all firefighters. I think they make like base 150, and they could all like double their base in overtime. So they make like 150 plus 150 in overtime.
Firefighter
Overtime
in-
we're doing as a firefighter. Holy shit.
So
A
they respond to a lot
firefighter
of
in
medical
Philadelphia ranges from $27K to $78K. Imagine getting paid $27,000 a year, and it's your job to go into fires.
Now,
Bullshit.
Does that count like volunteer firefighters? I understand that like everyone needs to get like paid their worth and stuff, but and maybe that's like a stigma of having volunteer in front of your name if you're a firefighter. But
I don't think there are. Well, I don't think that Philadelphia relies on volunteer firefighters because it's a city.
mhm.
I don't think cities rely. I think they actually have like fire departments, and they're regulated, and the city pays for it. It's like a tax thing.
Yeah. I
So This is just Philadelphia firefighters.
I know
in
the
average.
The wilderness firefighters, like either they're prisoners or if they're not, they barely get paid anything. It's kind of a like sad situation or bad situation.
Yeah, if you're fighting wildfires, that shit seems insane. Like holy fuck! Like you're liable to die there. Like
Yeah.
good odds. But I used to live across the street from a guy that was like a part-time firefighter or something, and he was like, "It's a really chill job. Like I might have to do something once a month. Otherwise, I'm just kind of chilling in the firehouse."
It entirely depends on where you live. It entirely depends on like what area you live in, and I think that the reason why it's like, well, from what I've seen from living both in cities and living in like more rural areas, is in the rural areas they rely more on volunteer firefighters, and they have like one or two actual firefighters that get paid like a salary, but those budgets are like similar to what they end up being in a city of similar size, and then
Like similar in percentage. I mean.
in percentage of total budget. My grandfather or my great uncle and my grandfather were both firefighters in Philadelphia. It's rough. It's especially in a city because that's like where you're gonna have the most instances of that. Yeah,
and the hardest to get around in the fucking fire truck.
Yeah. But yes, most of the time it is a pretty chill job. You're just kind of like sitting at the station waiting for something to happen. But even so, like, would you fight a fire twice a year? Twice a year, would you go into a burning building and fight a fire for $50,000?
Oh yeah, I mean that seems like a very fucked deal.
Yeah, it's pretty shit.
But you know, when you're not getting fucked, it sounds like a pretty chill job.
They go out on lots of medical calls. I think they just like at a point, I don't know if they still do, but I think it's like anytime you had a medical call, it would be like an ambulance and a fire show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's just Montgomery County. Like,
no, it was like that everywhere, or it's like that in Philly as well. Sorry.
So according to this 2008 report, 7 of the top 10 Montgomery County top 10 salaries were fire/rescue captain. The number one salary was the chief administrative officer of the county. So since the county is run by like a board and not like a mayor or anything, so the head of the board gets paid $317 a year. And
Jesus Christ.
317?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Number 2 position is David J. Kennedy, fire rescue captain, with a combined salary of $303,000.
That's all better than I would think it would be.
I would love to see what it is compared to DC's or Baltimore's stats.
Let's see. So $303,000 for the fire chief, the fire captain. This salary is 280% higher than the average, and 291% higher than the median salary in the county of Montgomery.
So not only is it high in general, it's high for
the county,
Montgomery County too. That's interesting.
I think that the median salary for Montgomery County is something like 110 or 140, something like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Although it could be higher by now, I'm not sure. But yeah, fire rescue. Hey, there's a lot of fire rescue in like the top 50.
That's good. Well, I guess. I would genuinely be curious to know what it's like in the cities in Maryland as well, because Maryland just has higher budgets of most of that stuff anyway, like social services.
Yeah, my one experience with the fire department in DC
Is what?
that they hung up on me.
Oh man.
Let's see. So, a fire specialist in Baltimore County, Maryland, makes $91,760.
I actually think that probably is why I really don't consider moving into DC. I think that's probably why. There's like actually a lot of nice houses in DC.
Yeah, but they're
What if it
expensive.
goes on fire? You're fucked.
Yeah.
And you gotta deal with DC traffic every day. Oh man, DC traffic sucks dick.
And I think that there's more taxes too, right?
Yeah, I think there's also more
There's
taxes, and you don't get to vote. So fuck you.
Yeah, there's a lot of cons. I mean, really, I think walkability is very important though. And if that's what you're looking for, like it's hard to rule out the whole city because there's a lot of good walkable places. But
Okay, so in Baltimore County, not Baltimore City, Baltimore County, the highest paid county employee is Melissa Hyatt. She's the chief of police and makes
Just
200.
doxing people.
I mean, this is public info, man. And she's a government worker. Screw her. 280K.
are we populous now? Like
The
they should
the chief of fire department is number 16 and makes 205. The assistant chief is number 20 and makes 195. Fire chiefs here make about 177, 169, 169. Almost half of what they're making in Montgomery County is what they're making in Baltimore County. But Baltimore City, let me see if I can pull up some stats. Job titles and salaries. It is awesome that all this information is right out here. People need to use this. Like, we need to have this shit for everything. Just like fucking
Google?
full on. I mean, like Glassdoor.
What resources are you?
Like
looking at?
I'm just googling them, and then I'm going to like government sites, like the county sites, and they'll report all their public like pay schedules. But I mean, fucking, we should have this for everything. Like I guess like Glassdoor tries, but that's really iffy. I want to see like all the fucking deets for everybody.
Full transparency, yeah. Full transparency.
I mean, why not?
Is good. Especially
Like, who
when it comes
cares?
to like pay and stuff.
It'd probably be good for a lot of workers.
Yeah, just view everyone's dollars per second over their heads.
Yeah, exactly. Just walking around, just seeing it up there. At least then you would know who to put time into. You know, stats for life. Cheat codes.
There you go. Oh fuck no, that was Baltimore City. I'm trying to find Baltimore or Baltimore County. I will figure this out. Don't wait for me. Nate, any more stories about cops or
That was given the original purview or mission of this podcast. That I actually was considering making the top UMBC. And I was just gonna like
Just fucking blast it.
Do a UMBC episode and like
Maybe next time. Let's not scope creep.
okay.
Jesus. Okay.
Matt?
All right. In my search for this, I found Maryland state employees' salaries. The highest paid Maryland state
Aren't they
employee.
all like football coaches? Or
Yeah.
something?
Fucking
It's like-
Turgeon Mark making 3.3 million a year. As
I
it
don't.
God.
as the
Okay,
univer-
college
sick.
sports.
as the University of Maryland basketball coach.
People like sports, man.
This is
Oh, but he's
insane.
not a football coach, so that's kind of interesting.
Oof.
Let's see. The top. Good lord. The entire like first page is all University of Maryland. I assume they're all coaches. 3.3, 2.5, 1.3, 1 million, 967, 914, 897, and it goes all the way down. Fucking long ass list.
How does that actually like help the school? Like, I never completely understood like how like a sports team for a school like winning a tournament actually.
So if you're a big enough football school, it's actually revenue positive. You spend a shitload on coaches and like locker rooms and facilities and all that shit, but people buy a shitload of tickets, people buy a shitload of merch, and all that goes back to school, which funds other programs. And there are a lot of schools at the bottom of the NCAA that are have ambitions to be revenue positive. And those schools lose out as a result. But the top schools, like anywhere in, I don't know what proportion are revenue positive, but I know a lot of them are revenue positive. So it makes sense to some degree.
And I guess the fact they don't have to pay the players gives them an advantage versus the pro.
For sure.
Or,
Yeah, all that goes
Yeah.
straight back to school.
And Yeah, exactly. All that money goes straight back to school. Any dealer deals with ESPN. I don't know who usually broadcasts college.
ESPN
sports.
sounds right. Well, I have to scroll for like 3 or 4 seconds, and I go way down the list. But the highest paid Maryland employee that's not a sports coach is
It's like a dean, right?
no Maryland
No.
Department of Health. I assume the director of the Department of Health makes 500.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And then right after that person is Maryland Higher Education Commission Colleges and Universities person, which sounds like I hire sports coaches. But that person also
It
makes
sounds
500.
more important, but
Yes.
apparently it's not.
You're the coach recruiter, and they make
Yeah.
money with commission.
It's honestly like 4, 5, 6 Department of Health people mix in with all these fucking coaches. It's like pages of coaches. And they're all at University of Maryland. University of Maryland must be spending like $60 million on coaches. Jesus
So
Lord.
they just have like multiple football coaches, or they're just getting the whole range of
I mean,
sports?
I'm on page 3, and it's still primarily I'm seeing University of Maryland salaries in the 300,000s.
That is obscene. If there's like $1 million salary coach for every player, and
There's
the
not.
players
There's
are
not.
like-
There's only 3.
What if there was though? What if there's just like $1 million coach like yelling in the face of every like teenage player for this school, and they're not like
2, 4, 6, 8.
it's almost what you're describing.
There's
it seems
8 there's 8 coaches making more than 900,000 a year. And the top
So that's
the top
not even,
2
That's not even like head coach, offense, defense. That's like segmented, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
This will be like
the top 2
so it's like
coaches
one,
Go ahead.
one coach for every like group of like 3 players on the field, right? Like that's going to be on the field at once or something, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Well,
so you can kind of I don't know. I kind of think maybe not playing the players for such a big business should be illegal. It seems like it's just
pay them.
gone too far.
pay them. And not just in
Yeah.
scholarships.
Yeah, I mean, again, it seems crazy, but again, it's revenue positive. Like, if you can get a top coach and your teams perform better as a result, and you get more revenue, that's just how it works. It's an investment.
Yeah.
That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
I mean, what's your counter? How is it dumb? It makes money.
That
Well,
shouldn't be what we're judging our higher education and higher learning institutions.
If
that shouldn't
the-
be the metric we're judging them by.
The end consequence of it is that those programs get more money than they would have otherwise. Then why is it bad?
Theoretically, why would you put money back into a program if the only thing you're trying to get out of it is additional profit? Why not just put the money back into the sports that you can then
Right.
use to make more profit?
I mean, I'm sure there's
Why not just turn it into a profit machine, which is like most. This is the reason why higher education is failing in this country now, because they're just turning into profit machines.
but
does
they're not.
confuse-
They go back to the programs.
It does,
Like,
it
they're
does
not there to make
confuse
money.
what the point of the university even is, right? Because it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, you can start something to fund something else, but then once the scope of that becomes so much bigger than the thing that you're supposedly trying to fund, like it makes sense at some point down the line people will get confused at what priority is. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're past that point already. But I mean,
Yeah.
so
I mean,
it
again-
might be school by school though, but.
I mean, there's also there's a diminishing return on like the investment. Like once you buy like a fucking football stadium, you outfit your football team and everything, you get the maximum number of players and the best coach you can get. Like there's not really much else to spend money on. There's the upkeep of all that stuff, sure, but like I can't imagine buying more shit. Right? Am I wrong? Maybe?
I don't know,
know.
maybe like send people to,
More
like,
shit
train-
like what?
I
summer
don't
training
know.
or-
Like I'm just saying, like there's a point where like you've invested so much into it, there's not really much else to invest. So once, like Justin's saying, once more money comes, you can't really put more money into football other than like getting a better
You
coach.
you can find better coaches and pay those coaches more money. That's you can put the money
Don't you have
like
this?
But it's not.
Sorry.
You're not going to go from like a $3 million coach to a $50 million coach. A, I don't think one exists. B, like That would make zero sense.
Yeah, but you don't only have one coach. You have multiple coaches.
Right. And at some point, you're going to fill your coaching roster, and you're going to reach a point where you just have too many coaches, right?
No. Why do you keep... So you're saying, like, that no business just pays someone outside? Like, there's not a coach on the circuit that is, oh, that guy is the best coach. You're saying that once a university has acquired all of the best coaches in every field and pays all of them, what's the point? But the point is that no university has done that, and it becomes a game of that. I want to make more money so that I can pay that guy more money to come here because he will make us more money. That's the inherent flaw of like this whole system of judging things based off of how much profit they make.
So
I
like
think there's like this. Sorry, there's like this race to the bottom. Well, so this is a different topic. Go ahead. Never mind.
Okay. I mean, my last point on it is just like, yes, that you can potentially you can spend infinite money, but there's going to be a point where you're going to have to take a realistic look at it and say, okay, this school pays $50 million for the coaches or whatever. I can't do that. I can't afford this guy, but I can afford the next guy who is only like $10 million or whatever. Like they're going to make a judgment like that. I don't think you can spend infinite amounts of money on coaches just because like there's going to be a point of diminishing returns.
It's like
so you're saying that eventually this is the argument of trickle down economics. Eventually, the people up at the top, like will not have other things to do with that money, so they will invest it in the people below them. And we found that that's not the case. Is that like they take it in and they hold it, and they hold it until they can get to a point where they can pay a lot of money for an additional thing.
Think about it like this. Sorry to cut you off, but I thought of a great example. So think about it like this: in League of Legends, when the esports scene was blowing up, it cost something like $2 million to buy the esports spot for your team. So like Cloud9 Gaming, whatever, they'd pay $2 million for that spot. It didn't matter if you were bottom or top. As long as you were in that spot, your brand and your team would become a marketing machine, and you literally print millions of dollars. So it didn't matter if you could afford a $500,000 team and you placed last. It didn't matter as long as you stayed in the league. Versus the $15 million top place league, like sure they made more money, but you could still print money by just being in the team. So I think if you're in like if you think about it like college sports, like let's say college football, let's say the cutoff is half. As long as you're in the top half, then you're the revenue printing machine. If you're in the bottom half, then you're like those other schools who are just like one day we'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, there are definitely losers in this calculation. Like the bottom half of NCAA schools are probably losing out and sacrificing education to further sports. But I mean, that's a calculated risk they're making, and it's not great, but whatever.
Why are we doing this with our institutions of higher learning?
I don't agree with it. I don't agree with this, but it's just happening.
League of Legends, it's a fucking video game. It's a video game sport versus putting money into what is supposed to be somewhere people go to like learn and grow, and then we're just like, now let's just turn them into other sport complexes that run in a different age bracket. That's literally what you're just like, well, it makes the most money, so it must be the thing that it's the thing that they should do. We'll turn all of their colleges into just
it's investment, and sometimes investments don't pay off. Like
it's not. It shouldn't be a fucking investment in
every
this
school.
case.
Every school makes rational choices about what they're investing in.
And regardless of that, we shouldn't be judging their worth based on how much of that investment they can and can't make. Like,
I think we should start wrapping up soon, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this image did pop into my mind though, where it's like you've got different deans, and then it's like some of them are just like gambling. It's like, oh, the dean put like the whole endowment on, and now we don't get like a new dorm, like.
Yeah. Now we don't have any supplies anymore for our fucking entire chemistry wing because we lost the championship this year. That's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, but sometimes you make that gamble and you're just like, oh, okay, we can buy a whole new fucking physics wing. Like, congratulations, guys. Like, sometimes it happens.
So gambling's good because sometimes you win. I think that's how we should close the podcast.
Investments are good because sometimes they're good investments.
Well, the thing that I wanted to say earlier though is that like there's definitely a race to the bottom with like bullshitting the athletes through the classes, right? Because it's like if it's so important to the school, they should never study, right? I think there's a problem there. But,
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we should start wrapping
Sure.
up. Though, but,
Sure. I mean, I'll say one last thing, and just that like I partially agree with Justin, but I think in order to fix it, it's just one of those things. You gotta change everything from fucking student loans to student housing to student athletes. There's so many variables. Maybe we'll talk about this in a future podcast. And we'll fucking fix universities, boys. The ALCast.
Let's do it.
We'll draft up the agreement. But yeah, so let's do closing thoughts then.
I thought that was the closing thought. That's the end. You
That's
just
the
said
end.
we're ending on that. That's
We're
it.
ending on
No
that?
more.
Okay, Nate.
No, that was his last thought on it.
That was my last thought on that topic. But we could do like closing thoughts on 911 police and stuff.
I'll give a closing thought, and that is like, I don't think you need to be right about to see somebody about to die. It's like the people answering the phone, they want to help people, and if it is some time sensitive thing you're worried about, they'll take the call. Mad. So I don't think you need to be too super afraid of doing it. Like I've never got chewed out. It's always been a case where there was something time sensitive going on. A lot of them like wasn't like the biggest deal ever, but it's like there's people out there and they're just trying to help people. So just give them a call.
Yeah.
If you need to. Yeah.
And honestly, it's there for us to use. Like, don't abuse it, but use it.
But use it, yeah.
Yeah. Calling the cops for other people feels pretty nice, I think, generally. Calling the cops for yourself feels like shit. But it's a lot better than not having the cops available. Because then you just got to get a bat out or something, man. I don't know. There's got to be a threat of physical violence at some point. And I'd rather it not be from me. I'd rather it be from the cops.
Well said. All right, gentlemen.
All right.
Let's and on a good note, Nate, sing us out.
How about I do a countdown out of order?
No, Alan said that these are all cut out anyway, so just do whatever you want.
No, these aren't cut out. We always say goodbye.
God damn it, Alan.
Goodbye.
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 Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Join in next time. See ya.
See ya.
All right.